Shalom and greetings to you all. I hope you all enjoyed the holiday Shavuot. And remember, it was a Thanksgiving festival celebrating the first harvest of the season. We should always be in a state of thanksgiving. That seems like a difficult thing to feel these days, when you look around and see fear and looting and rioting and anger. The world needs to take a deep breath and relax. Unfortunately, there's still injustice. There's still bigotry. There's still hate. But there's always hope. Let us learn from the events of life and incorporate hope, incorporate help, and share and care, because we are all in this together. Now, before Shavuot ended, we read the Ten Commandments, the natural result of the 10 plagues that brought freedom, and we are reminded throughout the Torah. In fact, we were warned about swarming things. Several messages in 2 of the 10 plagues were about swarming creatures. Freud did a great study of it. Swarming creatures are the mob. And with the mob mentality, people do things in a group they would never do on their own. Well, my friends, the barbarian is at the gate. The mob is taken over, city after city. It's time to stop and get together for peace. Some will come and some will go, and we shall surely pass. When the one who left us here returns for us at last, we're but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. And let's get together as a like-minded group in the collective consciousness of seekers showing faith and love, a community, a chavura, fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, unites us all in this community house of spirit, because that's what we are, Beth Ruach, sharing, bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please do go ahead, invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and come share. From Psalm 133, the Hinei Matov, come together. Hinei Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yach. Hinei Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yach. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. Remember, friends, this is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Let's take some time now to send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. The world needs it. Healing and renewal for everyone. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And it's for everybody. Everybody needs to do their part to heal the world. Let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and our minds. For the Star Master, for Myra, for Bob. For Dawn and Dan, for Ryan, for Terry, for Tally, for Shayna, for Ishtar, for Doria, and for Melissa. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love that we all send out. It circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Shabbat Avocado Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Mishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed, my friends. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, we have done so much. We're marking the 76th anniversary of D-Day, when the forces of good began the end of the forces of evil, which seem to have had a resurgence. And this week marked the 93rd anniversary of Rabbi, who decade after decade looks like he keeps spare parts somewhere. Take the opportunity, my friends, to celebrate the great events of life and love, as this week we continue the book of the journey through the wilderness as we read Nasso, add up. Now this parsha does pick up on the theme of numbers, but not yet on the theme of the wilderness journey. We were given the results of further counts, but it is of those who serve God. We had the normal tribal counts, but now we get the Lord's cohort count. But remember, these numbers are actually meaningless. All of these people will die. But as is so often the case, there are three incredible things to be found here, and not in the journey and not in the count. First, we have what ended up being an entire Talmud tractate, the Sota, the straying woman, the unfaithful wife, the only trial by ordeal in the entire Torah. Numbers 5:12. Any man whose wife may stray and betray his trust. Now it's may. And a man lie with her in seed coupling, and be concealed from her husband's eyes, and she hide and be defiled, with no witness against her. And she herself be not apprehended. Then a spirit of jealousy may come over him, and he will be jealous about his wife, with her being defiled. Or a spirit of jealousy may come over him, and he will be jealous about his wife, she not being defiled. Like Othello and Iago, initiated by jealousy and suspicion, not fact, not witnesses, unlike other crimes where there must be witnesses. So to understand, a man suspects his wife has had sex with another, seed coupling. Of course, there are no witnesses. There are just his feelings. I got a feeling deep inside. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. I got a feeling I can't hide. Oh no. Oh no. Well, based on his feeling, he goes to the priest. Now remember, the priest is everything in this ancient society. The doctor, in some ways the judge, although he's just following ritual law. The ritual reflects the strong lopsidedness of sexual roles in the biblical worldview. A woman must submit to this ordeal on the mere suspicion of her husband. The question of the man suspected of adultery, not even raised in the legal system. The ordeal, moreover, is based on a kind of archaic magic, which I'll let you read about. But why not have some procedure like this for a man who's suspected of adultery? And why, even if the woman is shown guilty, she's not executed, which elsewhere is the penalty for adultery? Well, you have to kind of read between the lines. She's pregnant. So in this case, it's explicitly about a woman who has had sex with another man in place of her husband. She's not slept with her husband recently, and that's why pregnancy becomes proof of adultery. She's not been proved guilty in front of judges in a court of law through witnesses. She's been shown to have done this in front of priests at the tabernacle. This also answers the question of why this procedure applies only to women. A man accused of adultery does not go through this because only women can become pregnant. It's only women who can be proved to have committed adultery in the absence of witnesses or any other evidence. And this, too, became something not practiced by First Temple times, so that the rabbis were not fully sure of the mechanics, even though it took up an entire tractate of the Talmud. Now, the second thing we have here, we have the concept of the Nazarite, the person, male or female, who takes the vow to live as the high priest with the physical identifying mark, long, uncut hair. Now, the most famous in the Old Testament being Samson, and in the New, Jesus. Now, whether you believe in him or not, we all know the story of Jesus. Long hair, role of a priest, probably a Nazarite, as opposed to being from Nazareth. But let's take a look at that other long-haired biblical individual. Judges 13:1. And the Israelites once more did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and he gave them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. There was a man from Zorah, from the clan of the Danite, and his name was Manoah. This woman was barren. She had borne no child. And a messenger of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, Look, pray, you are barren and have borne no child. But you shall conceive and bear a son. And now guard yourself. Pray and drink no wine or strong drink, and eat no unclean thing. For you are about to conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall touch his head. For the lad shall be a Nazarite of God from the womb, and he shall begin to rescue Israel from the hand of the Philistines. What a story of life, of love, of devotion, of self, and of service. So what is this? Numbers 6:1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Israelites and say to them, Man or woman, should anyone act exceptionally to make a Nazarite vow to keep himself apart for the Lord? From both wine and liquor he shall keep himself apart. Neither wine vinegar nor liquor vinegar he shall drink. No grape steeping shall he drink. Grapes, whether wet or dry, he shall not eat. All the days of his Nazaritehood, of anything made from the grapevine, from seeds to skin, he shall not eat. All the days of his Nazarite vow, no razor shall pass over his head until the days come to term. That which he sets apart for the Lord shall be holy, to grow loose the hair on his head. All the days of his setting apart for the Lord, he shall not come to a dead person. Now we have three different restrictions involved in the vow of the Nazarite. Abstention from all products of the grape, abstention from hair cutting, and avoidance of any sort of contact with a corpse. And note, this could be man or woman. Although the rest of the law is stated in the masculine, the entire matter of choosing to be a Nazarite applies equally to both men and women, and yet only men could be priests. Why these three things? It's because these three things are related to priesthood, and particularly to the high priest. Israel's priests are forbidden to consume alcohol at the tent of meeting. Priests are forbidden to come to dead persons, except their closest relatives, and the high priest is commanded that he shall not come to any dead persons. And the Nazarite shall grow the hair of his head loose, but the instructions for the high priest were that he shall not loose the hair of his head. You see, hair is the only thing that shows he is different and that he's a Nazarite. She asked me why. I'm just a hairy guy. I'm hairy noon and night. Hair that's a fright. I'm hairy high and low. Don't ask me why. Don't know. It's not for lack of bread, like the Grateful Dead. Darling, give me a hand with hair. Long, beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, streaming, flaxen, waxen. Give me down to their hair, shoulder length or longer. Here, baby, there, mama, everywhere. Daddy, daddy, hair. Hair. Now, for those who've forgotten, the story of Samson and Delilah is one of the most incredible in the Bible. Samson was a judge from the tribe of Dan. He was a Nazarite from birth, his mother having dedicated him to the Lord. He was most well known for his long hair, the sign of the Nazarite, and his great strength. At one point, we are told that he killed a lion with his bare hands, and he fell in love with Delilah, a name meaning delicate, and she was anything but. She's been compared to Judas Iscariot and is perceived as a treacherous, voluptuous woman. Samson loved her, and she, acting as an agent of the Philistines, tricked Samson into disclosing the secret of his incredible strength. To Josephus and Philo, ancient writers, she was a prostitute. As the Talmud tells us, she used sex to get Samson to reveal his secret. The Midrash, on the other hand, tells us that Delilah served as the example of the havoc that non-Jewish women could cause. Now, she took the knowledge of his strength, cut his hair, his strength disappeared. He was captured by the Philistines, who tormented him, gouged out his eyes, and made him grind grain in a mill. Well, his hair ultimately grew back, and he destroys the temple of Baal and dies in the process. It's a fantastic story. It was turned into several wonderful films, the 1949 one being the best, and inspired countless brilliant works of art through the centuries. And the third thing in this section is our exposure to the priestly benediction. Number 623. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Aaron and to his son, saying, Thus shall you bless the Israelites. Say to them, May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord light up his face to you and grant peace to you. May the Lord lift up his face to you and give you peace." Now read it. See the language of the priestly benediction. Like the Decalogue, it is formulated in the second person singular, you. Although the priests are instructed to bless the entire people with it, and although it historically has been pronounced as a congregational blessing, it is both a personal and a communal wish, to you and to you alone. In 3 brief lines, the priests wish each individual Israelite divine blessing, protection, favor, grace, attention, and peace. Now, the culminating wish of peace is particularly poignant because Numbers is the first book of the Bible to concentrate on war, but be centered around a wish for peace. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen. And it's still given 3,500 years later. It's a blessing still being done to this day in every Yom Kippur service. It's done by the Kohanim, shrouded like ghosts, the image of which inspired the famous line and split-fingered hand gesture of Mr. Spock, "Live long and prosper." Yes, the world is sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light. And all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally, so let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do, learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take twists and turns in the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives and our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. And remember, we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything's linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world, just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you, act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone, my friends. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of the greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean to you, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced others have too, we share together. We learn together and we help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone in your journey to your promised land. So watch your words. They can hurt you, but they can heal you. They can imprison you, but they will free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and ask forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God as he, she, it talks to you. Talks to you now and talked to you long ago on the mountain, giving you the rules of life, and beware of the deceiver. Be vigilant. I know you've deceived me, now here's a surprise. I know that you have, because there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh yeah. Now thank you for joining me, my friends. Experience the reality of life. Share it, learn from it. Continue to light a candle. Elevate the souls of those who are gone while elevating your own. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. And I will certainly see you all soon. Take care and have a fantastic day. Thanks. Bye.